After about 3 years of development, Battle Champion is finally finished. If you want to try it out, you can head over to the game's itch.io page and download it for free. However, today's video isn't going to focus on this newly released game, because today I wanted to talk a little bit about the history of Battle Champion. Though this recent game took about 3 years to make, the series actually has its roots in a game I created over 20 years ago. So here's the original Battle Champion. This is a Visual Basic 5 game that was created in 2001. You can see here that Little Fang, Droplet, Soul, and Tumble are all in the game, which is why the banner containing them in the new game is called The Originals. They're the only monsters in the game, except for their evolutions, which you can see here on the side. This is actually the definitive edition of the game, which was made in 2002 and includes this little background, because the original game actually just ran in a window, so now it runs full screen. So we'll go ahead and try this out. The original Battle Champion is a much more simplistic game than the new game in a lot of ways. You can see down here it shows the stats and a little description of the monsters. But they don't really differ as much as they do in the new game. There's also a little bit of a story here. So it begins with, I think we can spend our money first, yeah, so we can get some additional stats here. This is just how you get stats in this game. You can see that 3 of the 4 stats from the new game are here. And they have the same colors as well. There's strength, defense, or toughness, and speed are still present. But now your HP is also separate from them, and intelligence doesn't exist. So we'll just get a little bit of everything, I guess. Get some more defense. Speed's really important too. Okay, so now our first location to go to is actually the gym. I find it funny that, like, you might recognize Cow from the more modern game if you've gotten far in the event missions as you eventually start to battle him. But in this game, he's just like a complete jerk. It's clearly very heavily based on like the original Pokemon's rival, whereas sort of in my later interpretation, he becomes more of an aloof character. Anyway, this game already has the concept of the turn bar. You can see it down here at the bottom. But right now it's not moving at all. This is because the game's speed doesn't really adjust itself to how fast your monsters are. So you have to adjust the speed bar manually. I hadn't sort of really come up with an elegant solution for that yet. Anyway, it's now filling up. So we can choose our attack once it's full. We are much faster than him. You'll notice that how fast you are really affects the turn bar in this game. Like, I'm going to be able to attack at least 3 times before he can attack once. That was super, super broken in the original, where being fast was just ridiculously too strong. So in the more modern game, the effect of speed on your turn bar speed is sort of logarithmic, so it takes a ton of speed to be faster. So he's finally going to get to attack. I guess I didn't mention this already, but you probably noticed that this game has sort of slightly more detailed animations, although most monsters only have a single attack animation. You also notice some things can happen when you attack. People can gain or lose stats, and there can also be critical hits and something called ignore defense. These were sort of to make up for the fact that this game can have battles take a really long time, because the calculation for damage is just based on your attack minus their defense. And so if their defense is high, that means you're always going to be doing 1 damage. There are many sort of old role-playing games that use calculations of this nature, but it's sort of very unadvisable to do things that way, because it can lead to that kind of problem. In the more modern game, the damage calculation is instead based on a certain base level of damage, which is based on your stats, which is then modified by the ratio of your attack and their defense, which gives much more consistent damage values. I lost an attack point, that sucks. There are also special moves in this game. If we can get a little bit of money, we could buy some. Oh wow, we're doing like nothing. Droplet still has his slime ball attack. Though, like, statuses don't exist in this game. Oh, he killed me. Because he got a critical. We also have to heal after every battle. There is also no concept of damage types in this game either. Like the different armor types and attack types don't exist here. Okay, that didn't do too much damage. Okay, we got that one. That's good. The first attack that you can buy costs 400, so we'd have to win a couple of these battles to get that. Oh, it did 2. That's not good. Well, hopefully we can kill this thing fast. Because he's faster than us. Okay, one more attack would do it. And we lowered his speed, which is always huge in this game. I think we now have the same speed. Oh, of course he, like, criticaled me. The battles in this game are very RNG based. Now we'll get to see Tumble's fun little attack animation. If you've ever wondered what his tail is for, he uses it like a little kickstand to keep himself from rolling away. I always enjoyed Tumble's animation in this game. I'm also not really sure why. His eyes are clearly drawn at like twice the resolution of Little Fang. That's a little weird. Okay, we got him. We need 2 more wins to buy that move. I actually had to do quite a lot to actually get this game running on a modern system. I had to sort of hex edit the exe file, because I don't have the ability to compile it anymore, just to get things to run and show up properly. So a couple things in this don't actually look quite how they're supposed to. Like, I think there was supposed to be transparency on this text down here, but something is messing with that from displaying properly. You also might have noticed that the white background is actually there to sort of fake transparency for these graphics. Sometimes when they get really close to each other, you might notice that there's actually no real transparency on these sprites. This is because Visual Basic 5 handles transparency really poorly. It actually causes a tremendous amount of flicker if transparency is used, so instead it just has a sort of white background, so you can't really see that it's not transparent. Anyway, we've almost got our money here. Need 1 more win. And then we could buy ourselves a special move. Oh, this guy only has 3 health. The enemy HP and other stats is completely random, although they have roughly the same number of stat points that you have. Oh, he killed me in 1 hit. His glass cannon strategy worked out pretty well. This is another guy he has a lot of defense. So this is going to rely on me either getting a critical or getting the ignore defense effect. We're also the same speed, which means that he's going to attack faster. Oh, I lowered his attack. That's helpful. Although he lowered my attack too, so we might be here a while. Yeah, even a critical only does 1. Still, this is basically just anyone's game about who gets an ignore defense hit. Oh, and I think he did. You could see why sort of a number of mechanical changes were needed to the formula for this game. These battles are really just almost entirely luck. Okay, that helped. 1 more hit. Okay. So now we can buy something that'll help out our chances of winning a little bit. So we can now buy the first special move. So this is basically just like a stronger attack that's not 100% accurate. I guess you could think of it as being a little bit like the double bite attack from the modern game. Now, losing the attack didn't help. We still hit him for 5, though. I think this does 1.5 times your base damage, which is really powerful when you think about the way the attack and defense work. Oh, he still criticaled me. Alright, we'll try one more. That will show off the actual story of this game. Oh, that's interesting. There's a glitch in this game where if you both attack on like the same frame, a couple strange things can happen. Oh wow, he has so much defense, that did nothing. So we should actually regular attack here. So I didn't get it this time. Oh wow. That ignore defense mechanic is so broken. Oh, we got it back. Okay. Good enough. The special attack actually cannot critical or have any of those other unique effects, so sometimes it's actually just better to use your regular attack. Okay, so now we have like another rival battle here. He now has a potion. You can buy items in this game, and they would be used over here if you had them. I'm a lot faster, which is going to help here. I have double his speed. Although that only did 1. Oh wow, he's got 10 health already. And he has a potion, too. That's probably not good. Well, we better hope for some stat drops or something. You don't actually have to win this fight, though. Oh wow, we are having no luck. Battles between Little Fang and Soul are often very dull, because Little Fang has a lot of health and Soul has a lot of defense. Or, Little Fang has a lot of attack, I should say. So a lot of the times you just trade these sort of 1 damage hits back and forth. Okay, we lowered his attack. Just like the one stat that does not matter. Oh, of course he crit me. Well, he's probably going to win unless I get ignore defense here. Oh, I did. Ha ha ha. I got him. Well, we can buy a couple more stats, I guess. Actually, how much is a potion? Oh, it's only 100. Maybe we should buy one of those. Oh, you have to buy the small pouch, though. That's obnoxious. Okay, well, we'll buy that. And we'll buy a potion. Okay, then I'll buy, like, one more stat point. So we could show off the item system. I think we're just going to go with speed. Speed's broken. Okay, well, we'll see what happens. So the tournaments are a sort of successive series of battles, and you also don't heal in between, which is scary. I noticed this guy has like almost no defense whatsoever, so we can probably one-hit him. Yeah, we'll just get him out of there. What is this guy's stats? He also has very little attack and defense. We could probably try Power Bite on him. I think if it hits, he might die. Oh, he's faster. So I'm going to take a little damage here. He crit me, and it was still only 1. So we got the miss. That attack and miss. It shows you how much damage it would have done, which is 5. So in that sense, I guess we might as well just regular attack. So we could critical or something and kill him in 1 hit. Now, we slowed him down, which is useful. So I get another attack. I gained an attack point. Okay, so the special would now kill if it hits, so I guess we'll go for it. Okay, we got him. Took a lot of damage there, though. It's unfortunate. So this guy's got quite a lot of defense. He's slow, though. So once again, we're probably just going to gamble on stat changes. Didn't get anything there. Okay. Oh, he has a potion. Okay, we reduced his attack. You should only take 1 damage now. If he hits me on the next one, I'll probably use my potion. We got his defense. So how much damage is this? Am I alive? I am alive. A wheel potion, I guess. Okay, one more. So we're through this one. We'll see if we can at least make it to the final. Got him. He also has a potion. I think we're just going to continue our strategy of using regular attacks and hoping to get lucky. Yep, we slowed him down. That's not bad. We're going to get 2 attacks before he gets to attack again. How much damage does he do, though? Ooh, that was too much. Okay, well, this is not looking great. We may not make the final. Yeah, that's not going to do it. We get to attack twice. We would need, like, a good hit here. And that wasn't it. Well, this is our last chance on this one. This has to kill. Oh, we got him. Like, totally rigged. Okay, we did make it to the final, where we are going to die immediately, but that's fine. Because we made it this far, we made money. So now Little Fang, who is almost dead, can just immediately get wrecked. And we can cash out. And we're dead. But we got $400, which is not much better than just doing regular battles, but hey, it's something. Anyway, that's probably enough of a look at the original version of Battle Champion. It clearly wasn't a super advanced game, but we had fun playing around with it in my computers class back in high school. So our next piece of Battle Champion related media is Egu's Quest, which was a video I put together for a school project back in high school. It's sort of a weird fantasy-style parody starring Egu, who was set to appear in the second Battle Champion game. So it also has his friends Aigu and Yogu, who look mostly the same as they do in the new games. This entire thing also has voice acting, although it's not working anymore. So thankfully there are also subtitles and captions for everything. We're not going to watch the whole thing because it's pretty long and it's also very ridiculous. But we could see a little bit. You can see that this was also made in Visual Basic, and it just has a lot of issues with animating these kinds of things. But anyway, that's my favorite joke in the entire video, that even after reading the letter, Aigu still doesn't realize who's responsible. There's almost nothing you can even say about this. And Murgy is still here too. Anyway, I think this is more than enough of this, but you get the idea here. So the last stop on our little Battle Champion Odyssey is the scrapped version of Battle Champion 2. So it sort of starts with a very substantial cutscene here. This was originally made for a 3D modeling class I was taking in high school. This was also around somewhere in the early 2000s. It's made using an early version of 3D Studio Max, so everything is pretty primitive. As I mentioned, sort of the files for this game were lost for a long time until I discovered an old backup on a CD that I just had lying around. So I thought this intro had been lost, and all I had previously was that picture. So anyway, there's a lot to unpack in what's going on here. Here we see Egu. The original idea for how you would catch monsters in this game would be that you'd use a kind of like lasso-like mechanic. And here we can see Angel Egu, and he even uses Purifying Blast, although it's colored yellow here. Angel Egu also would have appeared in Egu's quest if we had watched the whole thing. But anyway, he flies away here. Now we have sort of a series of vignettes for the various characters. I kind of like these. They're pretty silly, but I think they show off the characters pretty well. And finally come to this little flyover here. So now we come to this part, and this setup looks very similar to the intro to the mobile game, which is not a coincidence. It's sort of based on that final shot there. So then here we have a little battle occurring between two of the monsters. The two monsters that are shown for this part are random. It's probably like one of the most fleshed out things in this game right now. Anyway, we'll click play, and we can see what's in the game so far, which isn't much. This game never got very far in development. But, so, we begin here on sort of the overworld type map. Like, this game has like an actual overworld compared to the first one, where it's all menu driven. You can walk around a bit here. You can go to this first area. That area right there is actually intended to be Origin Beach from the newer game. Anyway, here's the registration office. The tile work in this game is really not great. This is not nice to look at. But anyway, I have to talk to this person here. It shows the text at the bottom. We'll just go through it quickly. So we can choose one of the three monsters to start with. I think we'll go ahead and choose Feather. You can give it a nickname. And so here's Cow, who we can actually see this time. So anyway, of course we'll get challenged to a battle when we try to leave. So I don't think the background for this battle screen was intended to be black. There is a number of sort of strange issues with old Visual Basic games and colors, where the colors don't show up properly. But anyway, here's our little battle screen. So you'll notice immediately that there's a bar filling up underneath the monsters, which you might think is the turn bar, but it's actually not. This game eliminated the concept of the speed-based battles, and instead that's a new mechanic called the tide bar, which is intended to influence your ability to use certain types of mechanics. Like, for example, there's this special function here, which I can't use right now, but that was intended to be like a kind of team attack. You'll also notice that switching is also now available, where you're sort of intended to be able to have multiple monsters, although that functionality was never actually programmed in. So we can take a look at our moves here. Once again, we have multiple moves here. One thing I think is interesting is that Feather actually still has the same moves that he will later have in the new Battle Champion, where here we have the move that is basically Threaten, and then we have like our Wing Slash attack here. And we can start off with a Threaten. Has like pretty much the same animation too, and then you see Sluggy used his speed down move on me, which again is basically Atrophy and all but name. Now, there's clearly some issues with the balancing here. You'll notice the Feather like just does not do any kind of damage here. Oh, and speed determines who attacks first, just like it does in Pokemon. I don't exactly know why, like, my damage is so bad, but I only seem to do 1 damage here. Well, if he's just going to keep spamming that move, maybe we'll have a chance. Okay, so he hit me. Yeah, he does 4 damage. Like, Sluggy is, like, really strong here. I don't think there's any way that we win this. Poor Feather really needs some buffs. This may be payback for Feather seeming to be really strong in the modern game. But it doesn't matter if we win this or not. Oh, he's keeping it close by repeatedly using that move. I think we lose. Oh, no. Okay, wow. Do we win? We do win. Does the game even have dialogue for you winning? Apparently no, it doesn't. I guess the game, like, it probably isn't even programmed in for you to be able to win that fight. Well, whatever. Like I said, this version never got very far. So we can now walk around. We can try to go to the first town. I don't remember if we can actually go to the north as well. We'll see if there's something up here. Oh, there is. Okay, this is a healing area, I think. Oh, it's even programmed in. Can I heal myself? No. And we can't go upstairs either, but whatever. Interesting that this is even present. Okay, so we'll head over to the town. There would probably have been wild battles here, but again, this mechanic doesn't actually exist yet. There are actually no other battles in the game that are programmed in. This treasure chest isn't openable. We can enter the town, we can sort of look around a bit, but there's not much to see here. This person won't let us go past. You were supposed to have to do, like, a dungeon here in the well, which exists, but there's not really anything in here. Once again, this would have had battles. You were intended to be able to encounter Bubble here, who you might also recognize from the modern game. But unfortunately, like, very little on this game ever really got completed, because I lost most of my work to a hard drive crash. If I had known that this backup existed, maybe I would have continued working on it. But I sort of realized around this time that sort of I didn't quite have sort of the graphical and programming skills to sort of be able to make this game everything I wanted it to be. But that's getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, because we'll sort of talk about that afterwards. Anyway, that's enough of a look at the cancelled sequel of Battle Champion. For many years, that was the end of the story. With the source code for Battle Champion 2 seemingly lost, all that remained of the project was this picture I had tacked up on my wall from the last shot of the game's introductory sequence. After that, I went off to university for computer science. Since I was spending a lot of my time writing code for my classes, and Visual Basic was hopelessly outdated by that point, I didn't do much game development during that time. Instead, I spent some of my time creating a webcomic to hone my artistic skills. It wouldn't be for another 15 years or so that Battle Champion would crop up again. But of course, the story doesn't end there. Eventually I got tired of having actual free time, and I decided to take up game creation once again. At this point, the hot new thing was Unity, which was so much more powerful and convenient than anything I had ever used to create games with before. I tried creating a couple basic games using it, like a basic city builder and this dungeon crawler game that you're seeing right now, but they sort of didn't grab me in the same way, and neither of them ended up ever being finished. I had had a number of ideas kicking around in my head for a while now for a new Battle Champion game, and it seemed like it was finally time to bring it back. And that brings us back to the present day. After 20 years, Battle Champion is back in action. It's been a long road to get here, particularly for the monsters from the second game who never got to be playable until now. It's funny, if not for that picture on my wall, this game might never have existed. It always felt like they were staring at me, asking, when do we finally get to be in a game? I think the most rewarding part of this project was finally getting to play as Egu, Sparkitten, Murky, and all the other monsters who spent 20 years locked up inside my brain. So what does the future hold for Battle Champion? Well, I do have ideas for even more monsters who aren't in the game currently, but I think it's too early to talk about a sequel at this point. For now, I need a little break. But something tells me we haven't seen the last of Little Fang and friends. Hopefully next time it won't take another 20 years.